Hello? And goodbye.
Amber, I've got to talk to you.
You could have talked to me last night over dinner, but instead you opted for my father's clinic and my sister.
I want to explain about last night.
Sorry, I don't accept rain checks.
Amber, please.
How is my flaxen-haired daughter this morning?
Oh, I'm fine. But what I came over for is to find out all about what happened last night.
Well, you were there. Oh, Stacey, with donations and pledges, we raised over $100,000 for the clinic.
Oh, Mom, I know that. What I mean is what happened after that, when you left with Dad. So what happened?
Well, things went well.
Details. Mother, I want details.
Well, you have to remember, we were living in the euphoria of raising the operating budget for the year for the clinic, so naturally we were very happy when he brought me home.
And did you invite him in?
Well, of course I did. He didn't stay very long. We didn't talk too much.
Oh.
But the time we spent together was very pleasant.
Pleasant.
Yes, he has promised to call sometime today.
To double-check the receipts.
Do you know what this reminds me of?
No, what?
The 3rd degree I used to give you and Amber when you were in college and you'd come in with a date.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. I just want it so much
I
for
know
you.
you do, Stacey. And I'll be honest with you. At the risk of raising your hopes up even more than they are, it was more than just pleasant.
I just knew it had to be. I was watching you two last night. You looked stunning together. It was just like the old times, working together, socializing together. Oh, Mom, tell me honestly, didn't you feel it?
Stacey, don't forget your father and I have been divorced for over 4 years. A lot can happen to people in that length of time. Even though I admit he's a changed man. A man who's much more in control of his life than he ever was when we first fell in love years ago. Things change. People change. Desires change. And I have grown very fond of Lee Carruthers in the last few months.
What does he have to offer that Dad doesn't?
Come here. Sit down. One day you're going to realize that the desires you have as a young woman change when you grow older. I don't know how I feel about Dave, or Lee for that matter. But I do know that Lee has a great deal to offer, both to me as a woman and to the people he'll represent if he's elected. We share the same values and viewpoints. We agree on everything from abortion to nuclear disarmament. And I have a considerable lot to offer him too. He values my insight and my wisdom. What I'm trying to say is it takes a great deal more than mutual attraction to make a marriage. I know. I learned that the hard way.
Well, at least you're not shutting him out. And you do see that he's changed.
Of course I do.
Well, all I ask is that you keep the lines open. Let yourself get to know the new Dave better.
Don't you worry. I intend to.
Gil gave 5,000 bucks, huh?
Well, Prescott Development did.
Gil is Prescott Development.
Oh, I see. Well, after a respectable stay at the fundraiser, Prescott Development took Stacey Phillips out to dinner at the King's Arms.
Gil?
Gil is Prescott Development.
Touche.
You know, they really make a handsome couple. I had never seen Stacey out of her newspaper reporter mode before, and she's really quite attractive.
She's out of her mode with Gil Prescott.
Well, I think she handled herself very well.
He isn't her type, Mom. Besides, I think that she's the last person that Gil would have anything to do with. It's probably just a professional thank you, you know, from Prescott Development. She really did help out on the Canterbury investigation.
Could be.
Besides, he's really tight with Amber. Now, even Gil is not going to go out with two sisters.
You know, I don't think I have seen a pair of sisters that different from each other since Nancy and me.
Obviously, Amber wasn't at the fundraiser, right?
Obviously. You know, from what I understand, she's still very bitter towards her father. She doesn't want to be associated with Dave in any way.
Oh, yeah. Well, things must have been pretty rough between them.
Oh, I'm sure that they were. But you know what? Stacey has such a great attitude. I mean, she has really forgiven Dave. But Amber...
I know.
You know, not forgiving is such a big mistake. I'm sure what she's trying to do is to punish her father. And I know that that's really hurting him. But you know, if she doesn't forgive him, she's going to have so many problems later on in life. It takes such an incredible toll on a person to hold on to that kind of hatred.
How does his ex-wife feel about him?
Oh, I'm sure that Kate is all for him. You know, from the way things appeared last night, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they get back together again. Well, that may seem a little bit presumptuous on my part, but I'm certainly praying for that.
Hey, Mom, does Dr. Phillips remind you of Dad?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he does. Excuse me. Hello?
Oh, good morning, Terry. This is Kate Phillips.
Look, Amber, I need to talk to you. I could do it right here in the doorway, but it'd be a lot nicer if you'd let me in.
5 minutes.
All right, Amber. I know you're wondering what I was doing with Stacey last night. I know what it must have looked like, especially when I told you that I couldn't go out to dinner with you. But I'm not interested in Stacey. I'm not interested in any other woman.
I'm not jealous, Gil, least of all of Stacey.
Oh, come on, Amber. A girl sees her guy out with her kid's sister and then won't give him the time of day? I know what it must look like. It's like a slap in the face unless you know what's going on.
I'd like to slap you in the face
Well,
right
go
now.
ahead if it's good. Now you know what it was like when I had to
I
put you-
understand, Gil, and it makes me sick. Stacey and I may have our differences, but she is still my sister, and I don't appreciate you using her like that.
Using her?
Yes, using her. Getting on her good side so that she'll keep rolling out the free PR hype at the Kingsley Chronicle.
Oh, Amber, come on.
I knew you were capable of it, but I had no idea it would hit this close to home.
Listen to me, Amber. I like Stacey, and I am genuinely grateful for everything that she's done for me. But I could care less if I get another article in the paper. The point is she took the time to find out the truth. And she busted a scandal that could have ruined me.
So it was all gratitude, was it?
Yeah.
Then why were you so afraid to tell me about this before?
I wasn't afraid. It was just awkward. And I thought that you would react just the way that you were reacting. And I didn't want the hassle.
Well, think again, Gil. Because I said from the very beginning of this relationship that I wanted everything to be right up front. Obviously, you've digressed a little, haven't you?
Okay, you're right. I must have misjudged you. But it's one thing to say that you can overlook things, but then it's another thing to do it.
I always mean what I say.
Yeah, I guess you do. I'm really sorry. Will you forgive me?
Yes, Kate. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, Terry. I just wanted to call and thank you for your help last night in the fundraiser.
My help. You're the one who worked the miracle. I've never seen Dave and Ben so excited.
Well, it made it all worthwhile. When you think of the good we accomplished for those 60 patients that go through those doors every day.
You know, the fact that so many people took an interest in the clinic has really buoyed everyone's spirits, and we have you to thank for that.
Oh, it was no sacrifice. I love a good, solid cause. I'm just sorry that Lori couldn't be there.
Well, thank you, Kate. So are we, but it really would have been too much of a risk.
Tell me, how's she doing?
Well, she's doing fine for the most part, but I'm afraid that she's going to have to spend most of the time in bed, at least as much as possible until the baby arrives.
Oh, that's worth the precaution.
It certainly is, because this is my first grandchild.
Oh, how delightful, Terry. You know, I was hoping that you and I could get together and have lunch. I would really love to get to know you, Terry.
Well, thank you, Kate. I'd enjoy that, too.
Oh, good. Oh, dear, there's someone at the door. I'll keep in touch, and we'll see that our schedules can jibe.
All right, thank you for calling. Bye-bye. That was Kate Phillips.
So I gathered.
So, you sleep well?
Well, yes. I was expecting you to call.
Well, I didn't sleep very well at all last night, thanks to you. And I just, somehow when I got up this morning, it just didn't seem very adequate to speak to you on the phone.
Oh, what's the matter?
What's the matter, she says so innocently.
Well, I am innocent of any conscious wrongdoing. What is it, Lee?
I couldn't take my eyes off of you and Dave last night. I mean, is this my imagination, or is there something going on between you two, or what?
Well, I didn't think we displayed any unusual amount of affection. Did it seem that way to you?
Come on, don't be coy with me, Kate, please. I have to know where I stand.
Sorry, Lee. I didn't think you'd be so affected.
Now, you know that's not true.
Well, if it's any consolation to you, my association with Dave is primarily as a clinic's fundraiser.
You say primarily. Does that mean there's something more?
Well, I am going to remain non-committal on that.
Why?
Because I don't want to be pressured into saying something that I'll regret.
Well, all I want to know is just how much of a hook does this ex-alcoholic husband of yours have in you?
That was very cruel, Lee.
Well, it's truthful. Well?
Well, I must say that I am very pleased at the change in Dave. I mean, I am happy that we restored communication again. Surely you understand that. I mean, it's important for the girl's sake. I am not pursuing a reconciliation beyond that, I can assure you.
He is.
Why do you say that?
Never mind.
I just don't know what to say.
All right. Well, I just ask you outright then. Where do I stand in all this?
I'll be honest, Lee. I just don't know.
You know, I honestly didn't realize how many patients we normally see until this morning.
Well, that's because some of yesterday's appointments were rescheduled for today.
Oh, thank goodness. I couldn't keep this pace up very long.
Oh, I don't know, Ben. After last night, I could go on for days on the memory alone.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a tremendous success.
Now, I'm not talking about the money we raised. I'm talking about Kate.
Oh, that's why you've been humming all morning.
I feel like I'm back in high school. I don't know, Ben, when I took her home last night, she didn't want me to leave.
Really?
Well, she didn't come right out and say it, but I could tell. The wound in our relationship is being healed. I think she's beginning to trust me again. It's a miracle.
That's wonderful. And she knows you're on the wagon for good now.
Yes, thank the Lord.
And not only that, she knows you wouldn't encourage anyone else. I didn't see a single drop on the premises last night.
Are you sure?
I didn't see anybody brown bagging it.
Well, then it's very strange.
What is?
Well, my glass of punch. Now, you remember when Lee Carruthers made that toast?
Uh-huh.
Well, when I took a sip of my punch, somebody had spiked it.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. I know what vodka tastes like. I mean, it's a favorite of alcoholics. It looks like water, so you can put it into anything and nobody knows you're drinking.
What'd you do?
Well, I took it to one of the examination rooms and poured it in the sink.
That is bizarre.
I know it was my glass. It was right where I left it. You know something else, Ben?
What?
If I were a betting man, I'd lay odds that Lee Carruthers did it.
Yeah. Yeah, Walter, we talked about that yesterday. All right, I'll be right in.
Oh. Hey, there she is.
Oh, Gil.
Look, I just wanted to come by and thank you again for giving us such a prominent place in your reporting. If you keep this up, I'm gonna have to start keeping a scrapbook.
Well, look, you don't have to thank me, Gil. I would have said the same thing if it had been Reed Construction or Twin River.
Oh, don't mention the competition.
You're sitting on my carbon paper.
That's one for you. Look, I stopped by Amber's this morning to try to straighten out what happened last night, and...
Why should you have to do that?
Well, you saw the way she left the restaurant.
Yeah, and I've seen Amber throw tantrums all my life when she didn't get her own way. You see, I have an advantage over you, Gil. Besides, like I told you, when it comes to men, our tastes are entirely different.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was necessary to just sort of clear the air about my relationship with you.
Thank you, Becky.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Dave, you surely don't think Lee Carruthers would do something like that?
What, spike my punch? Who else, Ben? Who else would have a motive?
Yeah, but it's so devious. He just doesn't impress me as that kind of man.
Well, he may impress some people one way, but I think he fights dirty when the stakes are high.
Kate?
Exactly. I mean, imagine what she would have thought if I had gotten drunk.
What are you going to do about it?
I have already done something.
What?
Well, you remember the toast?
Yeah?
And you remember our benevolent Mr. Carruthers donating $10,000?
Of course, which is one more reason why I don't think he would ever...
Ben, it was a bribe.
A bribe?
Right, there were conditions were set. I mean, he said that he would give us $10,000 if I agreed to stop seeing Kate.
Oh, and I can't believe that.
Well, it's true. And that's one of the reasons I made such a big deal out of announcing his contribution.
Without agreeing to his conditions.
Without agreeing, right. I wouldn't bargain for Kate.
Well, that certainly wipes out Lee Carruthers' suitability for Congress in my eyes.
Yes, his suitability for anything.
I guess when you've cheated and greased palms in your professional life, it's bound to surface in your private life. It's so blatant.
Well, I've learned one thing. I'm going to have to fight for Kate. I'm going to have to fight to win.
Well, it looks like we can't stay out of each other's way today, can we?
Hi.
Oh, no, listen, don't get up. You look like you belong on Stacey's desk.
Amber?
If you'd like to fight in private, there's a broom closet out in the hall.
For your information, Stacey Phillips, I'm here on your behalf.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shoot.
Now, wait a minute, Amber. If you're going to talk to her about what we discussed this morning, I'd like to tell her about it. That's what I'm doing here.
Do I have a dread disease or something?
I'm sorry, Stacey. This has to do only with me and Amber.
No, it doesn't. This just concerns Stacey as much as anyone.
What? Will somebody please tell me what's going on?
I'm not real sure what's going on right now, as a matter of fact.
Well, I feel a little out of place, so if you don't mind, I'll just run these to the reprint department.
Now look what you've done.
It's just as well she's gone. I think you and I need to have another little chat.
Not right here in the middle of the city room, we
I
don't.
can control my volume if you can control yours.
Amber, I came by here to let Stacey know I wasn't leading her on.
Is that why you were hovering over her desk?
I was trying to keep it casual.
Oh, right. Well, Stacey's a little bit naive. She just might misinterpret your intentions. Obviously, you have not gotten to the business at hand. What's this?
It's the article about the fundraiser.
So I see. Keeping the home fires burning, right?
I just wanted to thank her for the good publicity. It made us look good.
But you so skillfully encouraged last night.
That's not true. Now, I explained to you this morning that I took her out last night to thank her for everything she's done.
And you came here again to thank her even more. I am so touched, Gil, honestly.
Well, what am I supposed to do, ignore her?
Stacey is a newspaper reporter. It's her job to write this stuff. She doesn't need flattery or incentives to keep her going.
I just can't get you to listen, can I? You're just gonna have to cool it for a minute, okay?
Yes, we certainly can.
What's going on in here?
I don't know, but I'm afraid it has something to do with me. I don't know, but I think it has something to do with last night. You know, I told you that Gil and I had dinner after the fundraiser.
Yeah?
Oh, no, Gene. I mean, Amber couldn't possibly think that there was anything between... Oh, Gene, there isn't. It was just a dinner. I mean, it was a business dinner almost. There is no way it could be construed to mean anything else. I mean, Gil Prescott is still an egotistical macho maniac as far as I'm concerned.
Famous last words, Stacey.
I'm serious. He just wanted to thank me.
Well, all I know is nobody ever wanted to thank me for my articles.
Well, maybe it has something to do with your style.
Oh, I touched a little tender spot there, huh?
On my word, Gene.
Stacey, what's the big deal? I mean, they're not engaged.
I wish they were.
Come on. I know you feel a little bit for Gil, huh?
No! No, I don't.
Want me to tell him that?
No, you just shut up.
She got to the elevator before I could catch her. I'm not about to chase her downstairs.
Yeah, I say I can't blame you, buddy. Besides, she was acting like she really didn't want to do much talking anyway.
That's putting it mildly.
Hey, Gil, what are you doing for lunch?
Haven't made any plans. No.
Well, you know, Stacey and I were thinking about going out and getting a little bite to eat. Thought maybe you and I could come along with us.
Sure, why not?
Oh, great, good. Ready to go, Stacey?
Ready.
Great, let's go.
Aim, fire.